G'day guys, Rubber Kitty here. Okay, I had to change the topic this morning. I was going to talk about finite and infinite, but I went to a meeting last night, my local relationship anarchist group, and they were very interesting, lovely people to talk to. Some friends that I've known for a while. They're into relationship anarchy, which is an actual framework for I suppose dealing with relationships is a bad word, but sort of a framework for rethinking and looking at things in a different perspective on how we conduct our relationships and how people actually do think about their relationships, kind of outside the much promoted typical default relationship types. And thanks for Half Tongan for hosting that and organising that. That's awesome. And if you want to know a bit more about it, it's Relationship Anarchy, and there's a group called Relationship Anarchy Brisbane. Half Tongan has taken up his time to, talk to people about this framework and provide information and a good discussion point in that for people to talk about it, which is what a lot of people call different from polyamory and non-monogamy. So relationship, and it's an interesting thing because I was there thinking, okay, this is interesting and new. How does this fit in with what I think, and am I thinking about things in a different way? And yeah, I am thinking about things in a different way because I kind of realised that according to this framework, that a lot of what I've been doing by default and my natural way of thinking has been along the relationship anarchist sort of lines. Hey Robert! Yeah, I talk about a lot of different things, anything from like physics and theories to personal development to relationships to BDSM. It's really cool. But yes, relationship anarchist. It's more about transparency, consent, and negotiation. One of the most important things, is something that I've espoused really all the time, is you got to really know yourself. And if you don't know yourself a lot, then that's okay. You're here to explore also as well. So don't say, okay, I've got to know myself always before. Just know enough of yourself to recognise when something's changed or something's new. It's not bad. You want to explore that bit more. Yes, trust is definitely an issue. You've got to trust yourself. It's a very important thing to trust yourself in the decisions you make. And a lot of things in life we do by default. We've been conditioned and we've made it a habit. Like, finding the one. It doesn't always have to be the one. It's not the same for everybody. The one is not always the same for everybody. That framework doesn't always necessarily work. It's trusting that this feeling that you have is not a bad thing. We were talking about this last night, where there's not a lot of scope or not a lot of people out there to help other people realise that a lot of the things that they're thinking and they're feeling are really okay. That the whole mentor, father figure, mother figure, or people in the community that used to come around and say, look, what are you feeling? Let's have a talk about it. Okay, no, that's okay. It's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's just a thing. Now, how can we, this is a part of your life. How can we incorporate this? Or if you don't like it and you don't want to go along those lines, how do we make compensations for that? Or how do we, get around that? Or how can we retrain yourself, so to speak, into changing that habit? Like an immediate default thing that I think we've been conditioned to is this whole thing about jealousy, and I've talked about this quite a bit, is that when I was in what they call a monogamous relationship, that I automatically felt that I had to be jealous about certain things. But then I realised, why am I feeling this? If logically, if this, then got to be jealous. And I'm like, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to live like that. So then I sort of got rid of that whole framework of monogamy and went into non-monogamy. And that's, even though it's just terms and words and phrases and labels, the unfortunate thing is that quite a few of those labels automatically come through conditions and through society and culture and how we've been raised in the media. You're constantly assaulted with this pretty much almost 24/7 as a way to, this is what's got to happen, this is the way it's got to be, by implication or otherwise. So to be able to go to places and meet people and discuss openly a lot about the different ways you could look at relationships and how you deal with it, and exactly, Kylie, getting off that escalator of expectations. You generally have an expectation, but they're not unrealistic, they're not default, they're not automatic. There's plenty of people I know who believe that they can't be happy unless X, Y, Z. I'm saying, well, why can't you be happy unless X, Y, Z? Is that because that'll make me happy? I'm going, yes, but what is behind that? What is the key, that trigger that says that if you get X, Y, and Z, you will automatically be happy? There's plenty of people who have X, Y, and Z and they're not happy at all. They're in fact very, very frustrated. So working back towards that, it's a very difficult thing, and some people just aren't ready for it. Some people might not be ready for it. Yes, exactly, Matt. A lot of people just can't be happy with what they've got, and they don't appreciate what they have. It's also okay to strive for more, want more, desire more, but there's that balance point where things can become an obsession as well. You can be obsessed to a good point, but you can also be obsessed to a bad point, where every single thing you do 24/7, that is your life. You still have to have time for just being you, so you're not that person, or you're not whatever it is that you are obsessed about all the time. I mean, there's times when I don't wear latex, practical reasons as well, but also to balance myself out. And that's what a lot of the RA is. And they talk about, enthusiastic consent, implied consent, the different levels, and to look at the relationship anarchy framework. From my point of view, is that relationship anarchy framework is like how you would apply it to all different types of relationships, from monogamy to polyamory, to swinging to even just normal vanilla work day sort of relationships, in that every day you're aware of the ebb and flow of power. And that's more resonant to me because of me being into the BDSM lifestyle. Once I took that on, everything got coated with sort of a different perspective, and so that I don't really distinguish a lot between specifically vanilla, specifically BDSM types of stuff. I now look at a lot of things as in power, exchange and flow, and recognizing that in a more holistic level. So relationship anarchy, very interesting stuff. Look it up, have a read. You can get in touch with like your local groups. There's a few Facebook groups, Relationship Anarchy and Relationship Anarchy Brisbane. And thanks for Half Tongan again for hosting that. I don't get up there a lot because it's quite a drive from where I am. But looking forward to speaking more with people about this in those meetings when I get to them. And just have a look, have a gander, and sort of think about, what are the defaults that you have, the default expectations that you have, and that it's probably become a habit for you to expect certain things, and think, is this a reasonable expectation? Is this expectation making me happy? Is this really what I want, or what I need? And if not, what am I going to do about it? This framework may help you. It doesn't hurt to read and think about it. And as always, communicate, be transparent, be upfront, and have a good day. It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. And it's awesome. It says that the temperature said it was 9.5 degrees. I don't believe it. My hands are icicles. Anyway, love you guys. Have a good weekend. See you, Kylie. See ya. Bye, Matt. Bye, Robert.